This advice changed the lives of 20 million people. They told you the secret to success was hard work. So you worked harder. You sacrificed sleep, skipped weekends, showed up even when it hurt, and yet nothing changed. Why? Because the truth no one tells you is this: success isn't something you chase, it's something you attract. And the most powerful way to attract it isn't by doing more, it's by becoming more. What you're about to hear isn't a motivational speech. It's a filosofia de vida, a code of autoconhecimiento, mentalidade, and crecimiento that has quietly transformed millions of lives around the world. And yet, almost no one applies it. Why? Because it's not easy. It demands something most people avoid their entire lives: trabalho duro, msi mesmos. But those who do the work, those who decide to take full responsibility, those who master their character, suas habilidades, sua comunicaco, sua attitude, they don't just change their income, they change their identity. They don't just survive, they dominate. If you're tired of waiting for something out there to save you, this might be the last advice you'll ever need. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. They told him to work harder. So he did. He clocked in early, stayed late, gave more than he was asked, and yet the needle barely moved. His income, his life, his fulfillment, all stuck. What no one told him, and what most never realize, is that your job gives you a living, but it's your personal development that creates your fortune. And the moment you understand this truth, you stop being just another employee and start becoming a builder of your own destiny. You see, there's a difference between being busy and becoming better. Many people hustle all day long, but never evolve. They're grinding externally but stagnant internally. Working hard on your job sharpens your skills, but working hard on yourself shapes your character. And that character becomes your compass. Read books that expand your mindset, like Think and Grow Rich, Atomic Habits, or the 5 a.m. Club. Attend workshops, develop communication skills, improve your temperament. Don't just learn how to do the job, learn how to lead yourself. Imagine you're a carpenter. Your job is the house you're building, but you are the tools. The sharper the tool, the better the result. Sharpen yourself. You don't need to change your job to change your life. You need to change you. When you work harder on your own autoconhecimiento, attitude, and mentality than you do on your paycheck, something magical happens. You begin to attract opportunities that once seemed out of reach, and that brings us to a curious truth about success itself. Success is attracted, not chased. Success, it's a strange creature. The more you chase it, the faster it runs. It's like trying to catch a butterfly with bare hands. Frustrating, slippery, and often disappointing. But here's what the great minds discovered. Success doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to attraction. When you develop personal power, valor pesol, and mentalidade alanhada com proposito, success shows up uninvited, because you've become someone it can't ignore. Think of success like a magnet. If you're not attracting what you want, the issue isn't the goal, it's the magnet. You don't chase success through more hustle. You become someone success chases. That means building habilidades, refining your comunicaco, upgrading your character, and embracing responsibilidade radical pella sua evoluco. A man who commands his inner world will soon command his outer one. Just like a radio must be tuned to the right frequency to receive a clear signal, your rendimento externo depende de sua sintonia interna. And it's not about pretending. You can't fake attractividade pesol. It's built through autoaperficoamento continuo. Ask yourself, am I the kind of person I'd follow? If the answer is no, good. That's your signal to grow. Focus on Medanka, not appearances. Real success doesn't want followers. It wants lighters que pensam, agem e vivum com empoderamento. And the moment you stop chasing, you start becoming. Which leads us to the real multiplier most people overlook. Self-improvement is the multiplier. If you want more, you must become more. It sounds simple, but most people try to increase their rendimento without increasing their valor pesol. They change jobs, change cities, even change partners, but never change themselves. The truth is, income rarely outpaces identity. Want to earn 3x more? Multiply your mentalidade, your habilidades, your autoconhecimiento. The world doesn't pay you for time, it pays you for value. Let's get practical. If you speak one language, you're limited to one world. Learn another, and you unlock entire economies. Master comunicaco, and suddenly doors open where there were only walls. Pick up skills like copywriting, public speaking, sales, or emotional intelligence. They don't just help you in business, they elevate your life. Self-improvement isn't a hobby. It's a ferramenta de transformação, and it pays dividends. Not just in cash, but in confidence, clarity, and autonomia. Look at the people you admire, entrepreneurs, leaders, artists. What do they have in common? They didn't wait for permission to grow. They took responsabilidade pelo proprio crescimento, and that made them unstoppable. Every skill you sharpen, every mindset you upgrade, every fear you face becomes part of your multiplicaco de valor. So the question isn't, how do I make more money? It's, how do I make myself more valuable? And once you start seeing that, you'll realize that the biggest obstacle has been staring back at you in the mirror. The real challenge is you. It's easy to point the finger. The boss, the economy, the government, the weather, they all make convenient villains. But the most cunning opponent you'll ever face? It's you. That quiet voice that whispers, "Come on, just skip it today." The inner resistance that shows up when it's time to study, to invest, to speak up, to mudar de vida. Your mentalidade pode ser o seu motor, o sua preseo. And mastering it is the verdadeiro trabalho duro. Have you ever promised yourself you'd start something on Monday, then watch Monday come and go quietly? That hesitation, that delay, is not laziness, it's an untrained mind. And autoconhecimento is the cure. Recognizing your patterns, your triggers, your excuses, that's where intelligentsia emotional intraemcena. Imagine if every time you felt resistance, you saw it as a signal to grow, not to stop. That's the secret. The obstacle is the opportunity. And here's the wild part. Once you learn to lead yourself, no one else can stop you. Most people try to fix the world around them, but ignore the chaos within. They build careers on shaky foundations. But when temperamento, disciplina, and autodesenvolvimento se tornam sua base, o mundo deixa de ser uma amica e vira uma arena. And just when you think you've overcome the biggest hurdle, life sends you another test. How do you deal with other people? Perspective on people. People can be your greatest teachers or your biggest distractions. But here's something most never realize. The majority of people are good, genuinely, helpful, kind, and doing the best they can. It's just that the few miserable ones make the most noise. They cut you off in traffic, criticize your dreams, drain your energy. But let me tell you, there are maybe a dozen truly toxic people in the world. They just move around a lot. Don't let a handful of bad apples rot your filosofia de vida. That one rude coworker? That passive-aggressive friend? They're not a reflection of humanity. They're an invitation to upgrade your character and intelligentsia emotional. Imagine what happens when, instead of reacting, you choose crescimento. You keep your temperamento firme. You use every encounter, good or bad, to reinforce your autoconhecimento and develop habilidades de comunicação mais profundas. And here's the twist. The way you see others reveals how you see yourself. If everyone around you is a problem, maybe the real problem is your lens. Shift that, and you shift your world. With the right mentalidade, every person becomes a mirror, showing you your pontos fortes e seus desafios. And when you begin to relate to others com empatia e responsabilidade, algo magico acontece. O mundo comica a responder. But to fully step into that power, you must first grow into someone who owns their life. Personal responsibility and growth. You want real freedom? Then take full responsibility pela sua vida. Not partial, not when it's convenient. Total. Because until you do, your power will always belong to something or someone outside of you. The moment you stop blaming circumstances and start building autonomia, you ignite the engine of transformação. You shift from being a passenger in your own story to becoming the author of every chapter. Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens by intenção, por meio de decisões conscientes, dia após dia. And guess what? It's not always glamorous. Sometimes it's boring. Sometimes it's lonely. But it's always worth it. You develop attratividade pessoal not by shouting louder, but by becoming quieter, more focused, more intentional, more valioso. You don't need to be the smartest in the room. You just need to be the one who's always evolving. And here's the beautiful part. When you take full ownership of your autodesenvolvimento, people notice. You attract mentors, partners, allies. You become a communicator mais claro, líder mais respetado, Uma Prazinka K. Inspira. The world opens up to those who commit to becoming more. Porque como dizia Aquil Velho Mentor. You can have more than you've got, because you can become more than you are. And now that you've seen the road, the question is, are you ready to take the first step? So now that you know the truth, what are you going to do with it? Will you let this just be another inspiring video that fades by tomorrow morning? Or will this be the moment where everything shifts, where you stop running in circles and start climbing, where you stop asking, what do I need to do, and start asking, who do I need to become? Because the secret is no longer hidden from you. You've seen how hard work alone isn't enough. You've understood that personal development, self-awareness, evolution, and responsibility aren't buzzwords, they're weapons. The only thing left is for you to use them. So I'll leave you with this. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. Now tell me, who are you becoming? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What hit you the hardest? What are you going to change starting today? And if you're ready to keep growing, keep evolving, and keep unlocking the version of you the world is waiting to meet, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join a community of minds committed to the same mission. Multiply your value, live with purpose, and master your destiny.